The film opens with Sakota sharpening his weapon while listening to the local news. Elsewhere, Yakuza men report to their boss that a new group is going to take over the city of Shinjo. The Yakuza boss is irritated by the incompetence of his men, and he slashes the goon's face, leaving a scar. Outside, Sakota is killing the Yakuza men one after the other. Soon, the goons inside realize what is happening and try to take the Yakuza boss to safety. Single-handed Sakota kills the goons. One of the goons fights Sakota alone, so Sakota chops the man's fist. Only one thing is left to do, and that is to kill the Yakuza boss. Sakota finds the boss in the balcony and kills him. Sakota is a hitman, and he works for a man named Fujita. After taking the payment, Fujita tries to ask Sakota not to retire, but Sakota wants to spend time with his family, leaving the hitman job. At home, Sakota's wife, Aarav, and daughter, Ryo, wait for him. It has been a long day, so Sakota takes a shower while the family waits for dinner. Suddenly, there is chaos in the living room, and Sakota rushes in to find a few men in devilish masks. The men are ruthless and call Sakota a demon. However, these men, known as Kamengumi, thank Sakota for taking down the Yakuza, and then they kill his wife, Aoi. Now, Sakota asks these men to spare Ryo. The men don't care and shoot at Ryo, who tries to escape. After that, Kamengumi shoots Sakota in the head. 12 years after the incident, Sakota has survived the attack but has now become paralyzed. Once Sakota is released from the medical prison, Fujita arrives to receive Sakota. In a decade, Shinjo City has become poorer as the old lanes are filled with people who are struggling to live. In this area, Fujita has arranged a place for Sakota and a caregiver as he is unable to function on his own. Elsewhere, Mayor Sunahara says that Shinjo City has progressed quite a lot in the last decade. Furthermore, Sunahara has decided to open an integrated resort, Mohoroba, with a theater, shopping, and casino. One of the journalists, Komiyama, begs to differ as he has proved that many people have gone missing and killed in the last decade. Hearing this, Sunahara is angry and cuts off Komiyama from saying anything further. Later on, Komiyama and his associate are murdered at the park by Sunahara's goons. Meanwhile, Sakota has a routine life. But one night an ex-Yakuza goon whom Sakota chopped off his wrist when he attacked Yakuza home 12 years ago recognizes Sakota and stabs Sakota in the limb. However, Sakota cannot feel anything in his limbs. Immediately, Sakota is moved to a hospital. At the hospital, a senior detective arrives to meet Sakota. It turns out the detective is a member of Kamengumi and has come to kill Sakota. Suddenly, Sakota's limbs start to walk, probably because of the desire to seek revenge. As he regains strength, he fights the detective. Soon, other detectives arrive, and one of them is a Kamengumi man, so they kill the other detective and attack Sakota. A doctor arrives at the scene and is also killed. However, Sakota manages to make one of his attackers fall off the window while he strangles the other to death. After this, Sakota has regained complete strength in his body. The Kamengumi men hear about Sakota's resurrection, and the leader of the group is thrilled. The group also runs a drug factory, which is a cleaning system factory, and information spreads fast about Sakota's return. The leader of the group puts on his devilish mask and costume and starts performing a dance ritual of sorts. By then, Fujita has received an order from Kamengumi to bring Sakota's dead body. From the hospital, Fujita brings Sakota to the factory in a body bag, pretending to be dead. Once Sakota's body is dumped inside a conveyor machine, Fujita leaves. The man running the factory, Ikoku, is pleased to be rid of Sakota. However, once inside the building, Sakota gets out of his body bag. Seeing this, Ikoku is furious as Fujita has betrayed Kamengumi. Once inside the factory, Sakota fights all the underlings to get to the leader of the group. However, Ikoku flees the building and blows it up while Sakota is inside. Sakota gets out of the building alive and takes Ikoku hostage to get the name of the leader. By then, Fujita confesses that he ratted Sakota to Kamengumi, so he kills Fujita. As Sakota tortures Ikoku, the leader calls and tells him to stop the madness. If he wants to see Ryo again, it turns out Ryo, Sakota's daughter, is alive and is under Kamengumi's care. Despite the warning, Sakota kills Ikoku. The leader of the group is none other than Sunahara. The report about the factory blowing up and Sakota is all over the news. Now a schoolgirl, Ryo watches the news but is unable to recognize Sakota. The person taking care of Ryo is Konta-Face, who waits to sleep with Ryo once she grows up. Meanwhile, Sunahara pressures Konta to find Sakota. At school, Ryo is learning archery. A police officer named Tokigawa comes home to find Sakota waiting. Previously, Sakota saved Tokigawa's life, and now, Tokigawa gives information about a company called Shinjo Security. So Sakota grabs his weapon and heads to Shinjo. where he starts killing the goons. On one floor, Sakota enters a room and sees a nice living space. It is where Ryo is living and now is hiding behind a sofa as she is terrified to see this blood-covered man. On the wall are photos of Ryo, and Konta is acting like Ryo's father. Soon, Konta arrives and sees Ryo hiding. Seeing Konta, Sakota gets furious, and they fight each other. Sensing a chance, Ryo rushes out and fires her arrow at Sakota. When Sakota's guards are down, Konta pushes him out the window. When Konta looks down, Sakota lives in a car. By then, Tsunohara finds out that Tokigawa was helping Sakota, so Tsunohara calls Tokigawa. Tsunohara gives Sakota an open challenge to meet him in Mohoroba. The Kamengumi men prepare to take on Sakota. Frantically, an injured Sakota drives to Mohoroba after gathering his weapons. Ryo is brought into the building and put inside a room. When Sakota arrives at Mohoroba, he is met with an army of men that he needs to fight to reach Tsunohara. As Sakota climbs every floor, more men are waiting. When Konta sees that Sakota is killing off the underlings easily, Konta puts on his mask and fights Sakota. As they fight, Konta provokes Sakota by saying that he should leave Ryo alone as she is finally getting hot. Unlike the underlings, Konta can fight well, but Sakota stabs Konta in one eye and runs to find Tsunohara. In one of the rooms, Sakota finds Ryo, but Ryo cannot recognize Sakota. Sakota is emotional as Ryo cannot remember him, and he is unaware of his surroundings. So one of the goons beats him. Later, Sakota is in Tsunohara's presence with Ryo in front of him. Tsunohara is obsessed with demons and their existence. He tells Ryo a tale. It is believed that every 50 years, a demon rises and goes on a killing spree, and Tsunohara thinks Sakota is the demon. To bring the demon out, Tsunohara puts a blade on Ryo's neck. In that situation, Ryo remembers her father when she was a child, and Sakota asked her to run from Kamengumi. At that moment, Tokigawa comes to the rescue as he starts firing from his rifle randomly. Seizing the opportunity, Ryo runs with Tokigawa. Now Sakota faces Jin, who is killed with his sword. Despite that, Sakota slashes Jin's neck, making him gasp for his life. In a flashback, we see a man bring Tsunohara to Jin and say that Jin is Tsunohara's twin. However, Jin has a burn mark on his face. Instead of escaping, Ryo runs back to Sakota, as she wants to be with her dad. Unfortunately for Sakota, he does not have any strength left, losing a lot of blood and is seriously wounded, but he still tries to fight Tsunohara. In one swift motion, Tsunohara chops off one of Sakota's hands. Despite that, Sakota fights on, and Tsunohara thinks he has killed Sakota. But in a twist of events, Sakota slits Tsunohara's head and he died instantly. At that point, Ryo arrives and begs Sakota not to die, but Sakota apologizes to Ryo for not protecting her mother. Aoi, the battle is far from over as Konta arrives and shoots Sakota. Assuming Sakota is dead, Konta talks to Ryo, but Sakota gets up and kills Konta. In the end, Sakota dies hugging Ryo. The police arrive and pull out one remaining Kamengumi man. Instead of waiting in the ambulance, Ryo runs away. 1 year later, Jin poses as Tsunohara because they are twins and he wins the elections by getting sympathy vote from the public by showing his scar. After the interview, Jin wears a devilish mask and performs a dance ritual in the forest. Now Ryo arrives and shoots 3 arrows at Jin to make sure he is surely dead. After that, Ryo drives off in her car. Inside the car, Ryo has a picture of her family, Aoi and Sakota. This is where the movie ends. Kindly subscribe to this channel. Click the like and share buttons and also smash the notification bell to support this channel. Thanks for watching.